What's going on? Welcome to this video, and today we're going to learn how to do a trick which doesn't seem to have a name. Nobody knows what it's called apparently. So I actually put this on my Instagram and said, hey, who knows what this trick is called? Because most freestylers do it and a lot of freestylers can do it, but no one seems to be able to name it. So I had a lot of people say it's slap around the world. That was the most common answer I got, but when I think about it, I think it should be called a slap reverse hop the world because you're using your other foot. So there could be a debate on what it should be called. But just for the simplicity of this video, we'll call it a slap around the world. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think it should be called. It's quite a simple move, but I'll break it down the best I can. And before we get into it, make sure you subscribe, click a like on this video to support it. And also check out my course for beginners, Fundamental Freestyle. You can find that at learntofreestyle.com. So that's what the trick looks like. You do a standard flick up, and then you do an around the world type movement. And the around the world movement is almost kind of like the 360 around the world. It's not like your normal technique that you use. It's that technique where you're kind of just moving the lower part of your leg from your knee and you're heeling out. You're kind of like doing that kind of like karate kick style movement to do the trick. So the first thing you need to do is get good at the slap flick up. This should be quite easy for you. If you're not good at that trick, make sure you practice it because you won't be able to move on to this. It'll probably be a bit too hard for you. And then the next thing we're going to practice is that technique that I was just talking about. So hold the ball to your side. You're going to let the ball drop and you're going to do that heel kick out type of movement. Now it's really important that you get to grip with this. You spend a lot of time getting used to it because when you release the ball and you've got the ball in that crossed leg position, it can be quite hard to do this. Okay, so you need to get a good flick out and make sure that there's no room for error when you do this movement. So once you've got the slap flick up, you've practiced that technique, you're basically just going to bring these two together and you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to release the ball and then just go over it with a bounce. You're going to let it bounce and just get comfortable with it. Now, I would say the main thing here is that you need to turn into the ball and make sure you get your timing right. So after you release the ball, that's when you start to make your turn, and that just makes it easier. So you open it up your body to be able to do the trick. Because if you think about it, if you do it and then you stand straight and you keep looking straight forward, your foot has to make an even bigger revolution to come and meet the ball. Whereas if you do that a slight turn, you'll be able to meet it much easier. And also you'll be able to kick the ball up a lot easier as well. You'll have less chance of kicking it away. When I was learning this trick, what I found most difficult was the touch at the end because I wasn't turning enough, which means I couldn't get underneath the ball and ended up just kicking it forward most of the time. So just like most freestyle tricks, the technique is more important than the speed. And you don't want to fall into this category of trying to rush the trick and trying to reach it, when if you just adjust your technique a little bit, you'll give yourself a much greater chance of doing the trick. And the technique here that I found is that I want to roll the ball up the side of my leg, and then once it's at its maximum point, I release it and then I jump as well. So it's kind of like a chained event. I'm starting to roll the ball up, and as it gets to the top, I begin to jump and I release the ball. And what this creates is the ball is going to be moving up and I'm also going to be jumping over it at the same time. But of course, this is, when I break it down like that, it sounds very extravagant. The ball's jumping up, I'm jumping up, when really this is all happening low down below my knee to the side of me. So it's quite difficult to analyze it in that way, but I hope it makes sense. And another thing that I'm aware of is trying to keep the ball a little bit away from me so that I've got the flexibility to move away and get over the ball. If the ball's too close to me, then it's going to be harder to kick up. And what you'll notice straight away when you try this is this creates a lot of spin on the ball. And when you finish the trick, the way you're kicking it up, because you're going to be at an awkward ankle, you're going to be having to curl your toes up, it might be hard to land and it could be a bit unpredictable. So just calm down, don't get frustrated. It's a difficult one to land, but with a bit of time, and once you move over your technique, you'll have more time to get underneath the ball and kick it up properly. So that's just one thing to be aware of. Just persist through it and you'll be able to do it. So that's it for the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, rating on this video, leave a comment if you have any questions, request another tutorial and I'll try and get that done, and subscribe for more. Check out my website, lancefreestyle.com, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Peace out.